many of you guys have been to a zoo? You haven't been to the zoo? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, in zoos, they often keep animals that run in the wild. And they are not normal for like households. And that was indeed the case. My wife and I were in Oklahoma, and we were coming home, and she wanted to stop at Arbuckle Drive-Through Zoo. You know where that is? Okay, it's exit 51 on I-30 in Oklahoma. And so we pulled in, and they had had an ice storm 3 weeks before. And that ice storm pretty much tore the trees in half. Tore the trees in half and knocked them down. It also caused the baby animals to be taken out of the cages. And they put them inside to protect them from the cold. And they fed them goat's milk. Does anybody know why they would feed them goat's milk? Because goat's milk is accepted by any mammal. Like you. If you were starving, and goat's milk would be the most nutritious thing that you could get. So they fed them goat's milk and kept them alive and kept them for 3 weeks. And on the 5th week, they decided it's time to start selling off the wolf babies. That doesn't sound like much fun, does it? Well, I'm not a big fan of it now, but at the time, it was kind of neat because I got to meet Hunter. Love at first sight. What does that really mean? Okay. Have you ever fallen in love at first sight? Come on, an animal, lassie, a turtle, a cockroach. Cockroaches, it's hard not to love them. Maybe I'm wrong on that, okay. Well, that is the little boy that I saw behind the counter. And my wife just looked at it and goes, oh my God, that's a baby wolf. I gotta have a baby wolf. And I'm going, no, you don't. And she's going over and over and over, gotta have that wolf. Look at how cute it is. That's so wonderful. I can hold it. Can I hold it? And the wolf says, sure. So she hands this wolf to my wife, and I'm going, I can buy a wolf? I can buy and take home a wolf? She goes, oh yes, if you have a license. So I said, is it 09083411? She goes, oh my God, he's $200, do you want him? I said, yeah, well, to make my wife happy, of course. We'll take the tour, and we'll pick him up after the tour. Well, my wife was just waving her arms. She was so excited. And she, during the drive, kept thinking of names. The name Our Wolf. Now, what would you call that face?
What would you call it?
Anybody?
A warrior.
A warrior.
Because of the like helmet on it.
Yeah, you know, I like warrior. I thought he should have a strong name, you know, and sure enough, my wife comes up with a name for this animal before we even got to the wolf enclosure. And when she told me, I got sick. Brace yourself. She wanted to name that little face Sitting Bull. This is very hard not to smile, is it? And I went, I bought you the wolf. I'm going to name it. Because there was no way I was going to live in a house with a face like that named Sitting Bull. And I couldn't say it at dinner time. Hey, Sitting Bull, come on in, this little guy. You know, it wasn't going to work. You know, would you like the name Sitting Bull? Nah, that's just like, there's nobody's going to like that. So as we drove on, I suddenly got chills, because that's his dad. It was one thing to buy a little guy this big. But when I saw his dad, who apparently was 165 pounds, I went, what have I done? by the time you get back there, they're gonna probably say, you can't have him, because something's gotta be wrong here. Now, at least Dad looks friendly. Mom does not. Yeah. Yeah. He was from Alberta, Canada, and he's an article. So this is a gray, Mexican gray, and she was from New Mexico. You know, it's funny you should say that. I think she looks angry. Absolutely. I think she knew that I was the one, because one of her babies is missing. You see, in the cage were his brothers and sisters, but there was one missing, and I think she knew. So, looking back at that face, I gotta agree, she looks angry. Now, the other thing that's neat about you saying that is, why can you look at that alien who's got a straight face and say she looks angry? And the reason is this: wolves have 14 more muscles in their face than a dog. So when you see a wolf get angry and its nose curls up like that, that doesn't happen by accident. There's a muscle doing that. And so you can actually read their expression. And that's pretty exciting, because as life went on with Hunter, you'll see some pictures where you can read with his mind. You can tell what he's thinking. But that was Mom. They're the rest of the kids, brothers and sisters. Had I known that day what I know now, I would have gone back into the lodge and I would have bought all of them. Yes, you don't have a question, you're just okay. So this is him at home. And that doesn't look like City Bull, but I couldn't think of the right name. I just couldn't put it together. And so for a week I went on the road, and when I came back, my wife had DVDs and books. The only thing that meant anything to me, because I was waiting for this guy to grow up and eat the neighbor's kids, there has never been a wolf attack on a human in recorded history. Period. Never. So compare that to politicians. It's not even close. That's definitely probably here, okay? What's in it? Well, I kept thinking all week, and I wanted, when you said warrior, if somebody would have said, if you would have said that to me that week, he would have been named Warrior, because I like Warrior. But I looked at him on the bed, took that picture, and then I took this picture. When I took that picture, I looked at the back of the camera and I went, Hunter. And he looked at me like, it's about time. You know? Besides that, he wasn't thrilled about the City Bowl thing, I gotta tell you. You know, I tried it out, I said, City Bowl? And he goes, what? You know, wasn't gonna work. And he was just the most adorable little guy in the world. He's 6 weeks old there, and had a lot of growing to do. Okay. Now, what's the neat thing about PetSmart? Right, they tell you, bring your animals in. So, I bring in a wolf. And it's right here, you know, this whole everything. And I'm holding him so his face is pointing out. And I'm walking down the aisle, and he sees a squeaky toy. You know, those little teeny raccoons and muskrats and all, and he's looking at it. And I went over to the shelf, and I pulled it up to him, and he's wagging his tail, real slowly too, they do that. And I squeaked it, and he went out of his mind. It was just like, oh dad, that's the coolest thing in the world. It made a noise, I want to eat it. You know? So he went nuts. I threw one in, I threw another one in, and had 2 squeaky toys. This was him. He followed me around. He's about 8 weeks old there. Every day was this. I would look down, and that face. What are we gonna learn now? You know? And it was almost funny, because I would walk 5 feet, and then I would back up, and he would back up, and I'd walk like this, and he'd follow follow me, and then look at me, and I'd look down, I go, let's go this way. And he'd go, start turning, and I go this way. We played games right off the bat. And right off the bat, coming home that day from Oklahoma, he crawls off my wife's lap into my lap. And I said, oh, you're going to be such a good boy. And I handed him back to her. 15 minutes later, he crawls back. I said, oh, you're going to be such a good boy, big boy. You're going to be a lot bigger than you are now. In the back, the third time he came over, she screamed at me, you buy me a wolf, and he likes you best. So I was in trouble, but I got 20 minutes of pleasure out of it. So that's, for $200, that's not too bad. But he loved the squeaky toys so much that he had a collection of all times. And when I purchased that for the end of my bed, my girlfriend and I left the room, cooked dinner. We were saying, oh my God, Hunter might tear that thing up. We came back in and he had put all his toys on it. It was like, thank you. I'm glad you got that for my toys, you know. So he never tore it up because it was his at that point. Now, when I got Hunter, there were 3 other dogs in our house. There was a standard poodle who just looked at Hunter, smelled him, and stayed away. Never wanted to be friends. There was a dachshund that, because she was the only female in the house, Hunter kept, sitting next to and lying, thinking maybe this is mom, I don't know. Because remember, he was taken away at 2 weeks. He never knew who his mom was. But this was Jagger. Jagger was 4 years old when I brought Hunter home. Jagger's a border collie. Does anybody know what a border collie does for a living? Come on, guys. What does a border collie do? You see the sheep? Yeah, the sheep. All right, very good. You see the sheep out there? They herd them. Okay, besides herding, what's the job? Keep the wolf away from the sheep. So I put a baby wolf right next to him. And literally, I turned around and he's going, staring at me. And he would, as I looked at him longer, once he knew he had my attention, he went like this. And then looked at me like, Dad, smell him. He's not a dog. Okay? It was hilarious. It was like this giant warning from Jagger. But Jagger was a great ball player, and as you would expect, after 4 weeks, a border collie is a pretty smart dog. They became best friends, and they played, and they were such good friends that when Jagger died, about 10 years into Hunter's life, Hunter got on the back porch that night, and for 3 nights, howled from sunset to sunrise. All night. And I wouldn't know why for about 5 weeks after he did that. But when I found out, and you'll find out, it's pretty interesting. Okay? Now, one time, that's Hunter there, by the way, in my house at Rockwall. And what's that thing next to him? Oh, whoops, I'm sorry. Right there. See that thing next to him? It's called a kitchen sink. Right? Well, I'm in my office, and Hunter comes into my office, and he looks at me and goes, how much are you hurting? What are you hurting? So I feel his shoulders and his hips. I said, what's wrong? He goes to lick me, and it's freezing. His mouth is freezing. What have you done? What have you been into? And all of a sudden I hear my wife screaming because she had bought 10 pounds of steaks for chicken fried steaks that night and let them defrost in the sink. Now, let's think about the wisdom of that. See, that's the sink down there? Yeah. Yeah, that's not going to work. So what was he really saying to me? He was saying, Dad, have you ever eaten ice cream real fast and gotten a brain freeze?
He was hurting.
He was hurting. And so was I, and we both slept in my office that night, together, but he did grow up to be pretty big. She's like 5'9", there's a lady, she's 5'7". So he's pretty big, he's about 128 pounds at that point. But 128 pounds on a wolf is very long and very lean. One night, it was raining all night, and the next day he was running, chasing donkeys and things, and I went out and I measured his stride. It was 28 feet. Basically flying. So a lot of fun to live with a guy like that. Okay? These 14 more muscles in their face come in really handy. It's not always anger, it's not always the nose curling up like that. Here I am with him on my birthday, and watch his face when I kiss him. He's like, oh dad, I love you. He was my baby. And we took pictures every year on my birthday. This is one year now. When we dressed up together, he really enjoyed it. So we dressed up in camouflage that year. And after I kissed him, of course, he had to kiss me. And a huge tongue too. Look at that. I mean, I needed a towel after. I thought I was going to take my nose off. It was a tiny tongue. But yes, with his tongue. And one year, my neighbor came over and I said, "Could you just take pictures?" And he goes, "I don't take pictures." I said, "Put it on automatic. Put it on. You know, it's going to work no matter what." She took 379 photographs, and this one turned out. But it's okay, because I really love that picture. Now, I moved out. I had a heart attack in 2002, and I was living in the city, and one of the things the doctor said was move to the country. Relax. It's much nicer. You all like it here in the country, right? I mean, it's so much easier going. Well, I moved out in September. What holidays right after September? Halloween. So I went into Walmart up here, and I'm looking around with all these costumes for kids. So I looked and I went, "Hi, I'm going to dress Hunter up in a Halloween outfit. He's not going to be a big bad wolf. He's going to be a witch? Nah. He's going to be a ghost? Nah. My Hunter would be a duck."
He's like, seriously?
I'm glad you said that. Remember those facial muscles and how I said you could read their mind at times? That's exactly what he's thinking. It's like, "Dad, take the picture, get this off." And, you know, I took the pictures. I took a couple, and I looked down at my camera and I went, "I'm sorry. I am so sorry." Took the outfit off and I put it underneath the bar. Now, people often ask, do they have good memories? Are they intelligent? Blah, blah, blah. 12 years later, I'm cleaning out underneath my bar, and he's with me. He loved to touch me. He's like always leaning against you, always had to have that touch. Just a toe, maybe the whole body. And I reached underneath and I went, "Hunter!" And I pulled out that outfit. And he ran to the back deck. I mean, ran. And it was just standing out there going, oh no, we have an agreement. But he was quite amazing.
Excuse me.
Do any of you guys know what separation anxiety is? You know, like when mom goes away. I mean, if you're in a shopping mall and your mom and dad go away and leave you alone, you're walking around, that doesn't feel good. That's anxiety. That's separation anxiety. Well, Mr. Hunter got that. And he would act pretty strange. If I was gone for a little while, he would eat a couch or something, or take all my shoes and throw them in the backyard. You know, little things. So I built what I called La Quinta Lobo. It was 17 feet wide and 30 feet long. And it was great because he and Jagger could go in there and play. They had gravel, they had decking, they had water. And one time, well, I said, you know, I tell you what, and he enjoyed it too. Look at him jumping there. This is not separation anxiety. This is what is called getting together excitement, coming home. So he would go nuts and just jump up through the air and just, you know, I'd come to the gate and he'd howl. But that one time I said, you know what, he's so good. He's been so good lately. I think I'm going to trust him. I'm going to go feed the horses in the backfield, and I'm not going to put him in La Quinta Lobo. I'm going to let him just handle it. So I got in the Jeep, and I drove to the backfield. I am pulling up to the horses, and there's Hunter. How did you get here? Isn't it great we're here? I'm here, you know, I'm going, how did you get here? Because the house was closed. I mean, I know I closed the door, I didn't lock it, but how did that happen? And he's playing. So I said, come on, we gotta go back. He wouldn't come. Wolf's only gonna do what he wants, not a dog. So he runs, I chase him, he runs, I chase him, he runs farther. I get in the Jeep and I went home, and I looked at Jagger and I said, he's gone. And by the way, when I walked onto the front deck, guess what the deck was covered with?
Glass.
Broken glass. He had jumped through the window to be with Dad. So that's separation anxiety. I stood up all night. I opened the front door. It started raining. I opened up the gate so that he would have a nice sweep to come home because he's got to have a path. About 4:15 in the morning, I heard him chasing the donkeys and yipping at the donkeys. And I thought, maybe he's tired of this now. Maybe he's through with his run. So I went up with where's my guy, 3 million watt flashlight. He sees it off in the distance. I see him look up and he starts running towards me. And I'm really excited. And he stops at about 50 yards. And I remembered, of course, you shine a light at the dog, at the wolf, he's not going to see you. So I shine it on myself. And then he started running again, ran right by me, and my exact words were, Hunter, you're home. And you made a friend. Guess what friend he made in the woods that night? Boy, you're good. You sure you don't know the wolf? Yeah, I don't know. You've got too many good answers.
Tell them how many dogs we have.
Oh, 5 dogs?
And a cat.
Yeah, it's not your. No. And a dragon?
A bearded dragon.
A bearded dragon. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to take over here because you think you got more animals than I ever have. That's Hunter in the shower trying to turn off the shower with his mouth because he's not stupid, you know. And then it's tomato juice all over him. Because you don't give a wolf a bath. You just get in and you shower with that wolf. Which got me my Native American name. Showers with Wolf. And I think I earned it, let me tell you. It was quite a 30-minute process. The pictures were taken by my girlfriend at the time. She was laughing so hard she only got 5
Maybe
pictures.
we should just put outside in the classroom instead.
No way. No way outside. He's not an outside guy. I had to have him in the shower. It was fun. Okay? Now, a pet psychic. Does everybody know what a psychic is? People who can see the future and tell fortunes and things, gypsies. My neighbor got a pet psychic, and it cost her a lot of money, and I wanted to get her money back. So she said, you ought to have her talk to Hunter, because she talked to my mare, and now I know why my mare trampled my little girl. I said, you paid $150 to talk to your mare. She goes, oh, it was worth it. You haven't got $150. So we called the pet psychic, and she came out, and I'm going to prove that she's a liar. She starts talking. Oh, Hunter loves you. Oh, Hunter thinks you're a wolf. Oh, Hunter is your spiritual guide. Hunter adores you. And I'm thinking, of course I want to hear this. I said, what's his favorite thing? If she doesn't say beef ribs, cooked for 35 minutes and cooled down for 20, and handed to him, then, you know, she's out of the house. She's out of the house. Because she's wrong, because that's his favorite thing. She looks at me and she says, this is really weird. I said, what? She goes, he doesn't remember his mom and dad. How old was he when you got him? I said, 5 weeks. And she goes, no, that's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. He would have known his parents at 5 weeks. And I said, well, it was from the zoo, and in 2 weeks they had an ice storm. So they brought the animals in the lodge. So he really only spent 2 weeks with his parents. And she goes, oh, okay, that explains it. And I went, huh, maybe it won't be so easy exposing her. And she goes, now what was your question? I said, what's his favorite thing? And she goes, oh, that's weird too. I said, what's weird? And she says, I didn't see a pickup truck outside. I said, my pickup truck is in the shop. What does that have to do? Because I'm thinking, what does that have to do with beef ribs? And she goes, oh, he loves it when you wear those goggles and you drive that Jeep and you drive that truck into the back fields, and the two of you look for the horses. Nobody knew about that. I had military night vision just to play with my wolf at night. And I looked at her and I went, yeah, he kind of likes that. And she goes, oh, no, that's his favorite thing. Do you walk with him too? And I went, yeah, we take walks and I wear the night vision. And yeah, I do. And then she kept talking. And for the next 35, 40 minutes, everything she said was so secret. It was just between Hunter and I. So I don't believe in psychics, but I have to tell you, she was the real thing. She was the real thing. Is Hunter like a dog? The answer is no. Wolves are not dogs. They have different bone structure. They have vastly different facial muscle structure. They have a much higher hips than, say, a husky or a greyhound, and that keeps them from getting dysplasia and things like that. Will they obey? Absolutely not.